to order. Pledge of allegiance led by Tyler.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Vision statement. Lincoln County Schools, equipping students to learn, conquer, succeed. Mission statement. The mission of Lincoln County Schools, in partnership with students, staff, parents, and the community, is to equip students with the skills necessary to be lifelong, productive citizens in an ever-changing global society.
Do I hear a motion to set the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Tyler, second. Philip, vote. Gloria?
Yes.
Philip?
Yes.
Jan?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We will now move to a recess for the LPC hearing.
Thank you, Ms. Keller. And board members. It's 5:31. We're at the Lincoln County Board of Education for the matter pertaining to the district facility plan public hearing. And I'll call it to order at this time and pursuant to 702 KAR 4:180 Kentucky Guidelines for Facility Planning Manual. This is the local state board hearing, and this is the last step of the facility plan process. Your district has been working for a few months now on the district facility plan. This is the last step of the process. So the local board has submitted the proposed draft of plan to the Department of Education for review. This accepted proposed plan is to be reviewed tonight at the hearing. There are copies available if anyone needs one. I think it's well known what your district facility plan by most folks in this room has on it. They advertised this meeting 2 weeks, way before 2 weeks ago. And so we legally advertised and we have the ad sign-in sheets here. Everyone in the room has signed in. And we are recording this for Department of Education. And I emailed the recording in the morning to John Gilbert, who's in Frankfurt. But the hearing, the purpose of the hearing is for hearing comments pertaining to the draft plan that has been passed by the LPC and the board. We had 3 public forums during the process for folks to ask questions and question and answer sessions, and didn't have a whole lot of participation in that. But when you get to the hearing, it's for comment only. It's not a question and answer session tonight. At this time, I'm going to highlight briefly the district facility plan that is being proposed for Lincoln County Schools. Under capital construction, item 1B, under construct a new 450 student elementary school on a site to be determined. Also under 1B2, construct a new 400 student elementary school to replace Highland and Waynesburg on a site to be determined. Under item 1C, renovation is listed for the 74 and 76 sections of Lincoln County High School, plus constructing additions to the art classroom, the library, the kitchen, and cafeteria, along with construction of a science lab. 4 standard classrooms are listed, 2 standard classrooms under local identified space. And then under capital construction priorities 2, major renovations are listed for Crab Orchard Elementary to the 67 and 82 and 88 sections previously not renovated in 30 years, along with renovating the standard classroom into an art room and construct a cafeteria addition. At Lincoln County Middle School, major renovation to the 1992 section not previously renovated in 30 years, and renovate existing administration area to create 1 resource room. Stanford Elementary School qualifies for management support areas. Construction of a new central office and bus garage are listed. Under discretionary projects, construct an addition to the Lincoln County High School athletic field house, the baseball facility. We've got to add baseball field lighting and construct home and visitors changing rooms. Also, the high school football press box is listed to be constructed. The Lincoln County Middle School gymnasium floor replacement is listed along with baseball infield construction. Finally, 2 standard classrooms are listed for the 2 newly proposed elementary schools at Houstonville and Highlands and Waynesburg, should the need arise. You can view the actual DFP draft for specifics on all these identified needs. I will ask Mr. Brad Smith at this time, did you have anyone send anything in writing as far as comments that was?
No, sir.
Thank you. No email testimony or anything?
No, sir.
Thank you. At this time, we want to ask if there's anyone in the district that would want to make comments. I would ask you, if you do, regarding the district facility plan, the draft, it's still a draft until it's approved by KDE. If you would like to come to the podium and make your comments, please state your name and your position, whatever it is you represent in school district. Is there anyone on the board or anyone in the room who would like to make any comments? Okay. Following this hearing, you will be approving a hearing report, which is basically the minutes of what took place here tonight. And Ms. Benson and I will complete that for you while your meeting's going on, and then later in your meeting to expedite this process so we can get all the documents in the morning to KDE. We will ask you to approve the hearing report later in your meeting. And so then the required documents for there's like 30 some documents, it's minutes, it's sign-in sheets from all the meetings. Those type of things will be exported also with the sign-in from tonight and the hearing report. A copy of your plan, a copy of the submittal form of the vote of the LPC as well as the board. And that will be reviewed in the Department of Facilities in Frankfort. State board doesn't approve them anymore. It goes to Jay Ritter's office, and several sets of eyes will approve it. They are very familiar with your district facility plan up there. We've conversed many times. I think Superintendent Smith can tell you, we've spent a lot of time on the phone with Frankfort, and they're very well aware of it. And the timing issue for you here is important to get this finished because it's a possible funding that could come and the requirements of that funding, I do believe. So we're hoping that works for Lincoln County Schools, for the students, and anytime you can get extra funding for better classrooms for kids is the conditions can, that's very, very good, and conducive classroom space and quality classroom space has a lot to do with the process of education. So with that, we will follow through with the rest of the documents, hopefully in the morning first thing, and I will adjourn this public hearing. Thank you, board and LPC chairman and folks of Lincoln County.
We will now continue with the working board meeting with the action items. 3A, independent service contract. Mr. Willoughby.
Yes, I'm asking the board to approve the consulting contract with Kim Willems, who is bringing some equipment over that he has previously used at Stanford Elementary, a 3D printer, laser, wood burner, and I think a drone that our students are going to utilize at the high school through our CPE programs. I was wanting to hire him as a consultant to help get that machinery set up so that our students will be able to use that.
Any questions?
No statement. You're very lucky if you wrote Chris Willoughby.
Yes.
I've heard great things about it.
Yes.
Since he first started working in the system, worked with him in Waynesburg and Kings Mountain. Yes. You're very lucky you got me.
Do I hear a motion to approve the independent service contract of up to 126 days with Chris Willems for the 2025-2026 school year at Lincoln County High School?
I'll make a motion.
Second, Jan, vote, Gloria,
Yes.
Philip,
Yes.
Jan,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thanks, Mr. We will now move to our discussion items for a plat boundary survey for new site. Mr. Boggs.
Hello.
Hi.
So the first thing is for the plat boundary survey for the potential new elementary school site. We reviewed the proposals. We got 2 of the 3, I think, were submitted and that we asked for. And we would recommend the board consider hiring Parton for that work. We've worked with them on other projects. They did a good job.
I'm sorry, but I'm old and I couldn't hear nothing.
I'm sorry. Well, I'll speak up.
Okay, there
Sometimes
you
I
go.
talk really loud. I try not to talk loud sometimes. So, Parton, the surveyor that we reached out for 3 survey proposals, only 2 submitted. And of the 2, we would recommend hiring Parton for the work. We've worked with them in other districts. They do a good job.
Any questions? Do I hear, well, we don't have a motion, right? Okay, let's move on to 4B, geotechnical investigation for the new site.
So this is required by KDE to do some preliminary borings of the jobs of the potential site to make sure that we don't find anything adverse, like just stuff that would make the site not suitable for school construction. And so we reached out to 3 independent geotechnical firms, 2 submitted pricing, and we would recommend hiring UES. We've done a tremendous amount of work with them. They're one of the better geotechnical firms in the state, and so we recommend the board consider hiring them.
Any questions? Moving on to 4C, change order number 2 for Lincoln County High School renovations bid package 2.
So this is, we had some requested work, and we'll see it in the renderings here in a bit, but out front, the little short retained concrete wall, we're gonna cut that down so it's not, it'll go with kind of the new site walls that are out there. So there's a little bit of work there. And then some of the fencing at the softball field, we were trying to salvage it to minimize costs of the project during the bidding. Well, when they got out there and started taking it off, some of the fencing really just kind of started falling apart. It wasn't as sound as we initially thought it was. And so we got some pricing from the contractor. We did a base bid price for the fence and an alternate to take it all the way down the foul lines on both sides of the softball field. And there is just a little bit of baseball fence where they adjusted some of the grade work. And so we just got to raise that fence a little bit. And
Man, let me interject and help them. Remember, we did baseball's all pretty much new, and we haven't impacted it much. When the softball fence is probably, I'm gonna guess, pushing 30 years old or older. And some of those areas, once we raveled it so we could work in it, it's just not gonna come back well. It's gonna be dragging and hanging. So I reached out to him to get this pricing because it's gonna have to be done, honestly, to make it look right and to get it back in playing shape. So, like he mentioned, baseball, we're basically just extending it in a couple of places because we have leveled the ground, and it creates an illusion now like the fence is falling off because the ground, it's level, but you get my drift, you'll see it. But softball, it's in pretty poor shape, so I highly recommend going with that.
And the pricing for that was $36,000 rough change, but we also had an allowance in the project to handle some of these sound conditions. So we'll be applying that allowance to this. And so that takes the total change order price down to about $12,000.
One more thing, guys, where he's talking about the wall getting cut down, that's something I probably should have caught during the conceptual part of this project, but I never thought about it. Basically, the front wall is still tan. You see up front that has nothing to do with the new. It just doesn't match at all, and it just doesn't line up right. So angling it down, putting a cap on it, and then also painting that wall to match that new concrete, and then painting the inner wall where the steps touch the brick toward the tech center side. That's also part of this, and painting those to match the concrete look. if you see it visually, you can really tell, but again, I highly recommend doing that too.
Any questions? Okay, moving on to 4D, discussion of Lincoln County High School front entrance design concepts for pricing.
Okay, so I'm one of those people, I like to stand in front of the screen and point and touch, so I'm gonna walk over there if that's okay. So we've been asked to kind of explore some concepts for the front entry, removing that big concrete wall that's across the front of the school. And so we looked at getting some initial pricing to cut that down, and the contractor came back with a very, very high price, and it didn't make sense to cut it down partially and then have to come in later if we decide to do this and dig all that work out that they did. So we elected to not pursue just partial removal of the wall because it just, you're only paying extra for it. So what we've done in this concept is, of course, here's your new front entry, and the wall that's in change order number 2 is this little short wall that's right here that we're going to be cutting down. You'll see a rendering of that here in just a second. But what we propose is we're going to widen this road out just a little bit to give nice ample room for double stack of the bus, and we'll wrap it all the way around. We'll take a sidewalk all the way around to the other side of the school, so that way we have full connection to walk all the way around. And what we'll do is we'll take these angled stairs, which I'm assuming you all have seen by now, and we're going to kind of mimic that on this side over here, because there is some grade change that we'll have to deal with. So it gives an opportunity to tie all this in together, move the flagpole to here. Right now, your parking spaces, they go up like this, and we bring all that grade down, so it'll be nice and level. And then there'll be a few steps, re-step down. We can get a new parking lot up through the front. We relocate your accessible parking from about right here just to right here. We would still maintain a crosswalk over to your ramp that goes up to the main entrance, and then just some new sidewalks and lots. So that's kind of the plan, and we'll go to the next images. We've got some kind of 3D renderings of this. Is if you're kind of far back looking at, here's the accessible parking. Here are the little stairs here that mimic the stairs across the street. We'll just kind of
Try not to hit that other arrow.
This is standing here looking up at the stairs, flagpole across the street, just kind of a conceptual rendering. Of course, this is your new plaza that's already in there, and you can see we kind of went ahead and modeled the wall being cut down on this side to mimic the new stairs and walls that are going down. Just another view. Just another one. I think that's all of them. And so
Beautiful.
this-
I would like for Mr. Franklin to be able to do the landscaping.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got, I see you've got beautiful landscaping there, but he's talked and talked and talked to me about plans that he's got in mind.
So to expand on what Ben's saying, we first started kicking this around. I wish Mr. Willoughby would stay. And Lynn could speak to more about a way to come up with some extra funding to make this happen. It's kind of a target number that the danger of just throwing something like this out midstream and saying, hey guys, give us a price on that without any real drawings, you're not going to get a good number. So I went back to Ben and said, I would like you to come to the board meeting and show them and see if they are interested in proceeding for him to actually produce the drawing so that we can get a real number for this. And if it's not something we can do via change order now as part of bid package 2, the second phase of this project, we would still have the drawings. Maybe they'll do this later on. That's kind of my thinking on it. I think it's something that I know Mr. Willoughby's big on. I know the community's big on, and I've heard from several of you guys over the years that when it's that big wall coming down. So we've tried to put lipstick on that pig plenty of times. She ain't gonna take much more lipstick, I don't believe. So
It's wasted space.
Well, and if we can do it, we need to do it because we kicked the can down the road long enough. 100%.
And those little gray posts are lights, right?
So on those, glad you brought that up. What we're talking, that is not part of anything today, but it is something I talked to him about wanting to do. What we've got planned is those are solar, so we won't even have to run electric, and our staff will be able to put those in. That's something I'll probably just do on our own at the district level, and that way we don't have to go through a change order and get the markups and all that. But if you all like that, that's all I want on there. That's something I'd like to add to this. We can do it now. Like, probably by the summer,
Yeah,
get that done. Just do it here locally with our people. And there's, like I said, there'll be solar.
And they'll just be surface mounted, so it's easy install.
But I do really like that. I like it. It would really,
Needs to be on the ramps too.
yeah, we could add some on the steps to give it a little more light.
did you have a question?
Yeah, I know you don't have numbers right now because this is just a concept, but obviously you guys, between you and Jason, been around the game for a while. You have any idea what this, are we talking like 20,000? Are we talking 1.2 million? Big difference between the two.
Somewhere between 1 and 500,000, somewhere in there. Now, if I had to put a guess, we put a preliminary estimate to it. I think we were right around, if I remember correctly, the 230 to 250,000 roughly. Some of the numbers that we've been getting back on, that's one reason why we're doing the bollards just through the district is some of the numbers coming back from Branscombe. Some of the numbers are, some trades are really, really high. Some numbers are really, really low. And so it's hard to put what they would say. I can put my estimate on it, but about 250,000, I think, would get you what you see here.
Another key point, if back up to where you can see the tech center, because I think this is important. It's something I really had not ever noticed until being out there somewhere. Keep going, please.
That sidewalk.
So,
Oh,
Yes,
Yeah.
the sidewalks I was gonna bring up. Keep going where you can still see around the corner.
there,
There you go.
yeah.
So you see, Ben, can you show them where the new sidewalk would be added if and when we do this, around the tech center spot there? Yeah. See, that's currently this grass.
Yeah.
So there's really no way to safely walk from that part. And I think that's important for a couple of reasons. If we're gonna continue to do, departure on that side of the building, which is something that I know Mr. Krager and Mr. Willoughby are considering, we need a safe walkway to that too. So that's why we added that in. I think, I really would, if you would have told me, do we have a sidewalk? I would have said, yeah, it's, but there's not. So it's one of those things you don't really think about until you look for it.
Out of the $7.8 million that we had earmarked for all this stuff, where are we at on that number wise?
Well, we're pretty much fully obligated, but you've got to understand that within the BGs, there's some contingency. So, until we kind of get toward the end of the project and see that there aren't going to be any major surprises, that we didn't know about. And also, we kind of need to have a firm number on pricing. It's kind of hard to say, will we have the capability to absorb that within the budget that we have without putting in any additional restricted funds or, I don't recommend that we look to the general fund to fund any part of this project, but, we may have some funds left over after everything's said and done. And again, without knowing hard and fast pricing, it's kind of hard to determine until we know that. So I think that's a good starting point. And then we can kind of game plan from there and see how we look.
I didn't want to put any more energy into it until I felt like you guys were interested in.
Well, what's the last end date of our current projects? I saw the softball field was May 26th, so we're looking at not till the end of the school year at least before we have.
So we will be to a point, Philip, soon. And Ben, you can speak to this more than me, where we're gonna know if there's anything crazy out there that's unforeseen. So far, we've been pretty lucky on both, to be honest with you. I mean, we've had some change orders, but just like this one we're proposing tonight earlier to you guys with its fencing, we did have some allowance built in because we knew we were going to come up on some of this stuff. Once we get the groundwork done and the drainage, which a lot of that's already been done, we're going to have, probably by the time we meet again, we'll be able to give you a pretty good idea where we stand in terms of what we're seeing that could come. You agree, Ben?
Yeah, most of the storm drainage is in around the ball fields where we're finding a lot of the kind of random electric lines or this or that. I think most of it's been trenched. I think the softball is.
The only other thing he and I are working on behind the scenes that I'll tell you I could be coming, but we kind of think it may not turn into anything financially is we're kind of trying to figure out what we want to do with a sanitary line down there around baseball, but it may end up being a wash. The figure we saw in it in a worst case scenario was not very expensive either. So that is another change order that could be coming. Aside from that, there's nothing on the horizon that I know of.
Should be. hopefully knock on some wood, should be.
I think the January meeting, Philip, we would be able to give you guys a decent idea of what he and I are seeing.
And I assume most of the numbers for this would be in by then as well, so we know what we're looking at.
I mean, you're talking about like as far as like
For the-
pricing from us or?
Or just total project pricing to make this a change order added into what we're doing now.
Now, if we had to go do that, to get an actual price from Branscombe, we would have to produce some kind of detailed drawings, so they could actually price it as opposed to trying to guess what's out there. So we would have to sit down, do some grading plans, put dimensions, layout plans, so that way Branscombe could price, exact quantities rather than just taking a pretty picture and trying to figure out what it costs. So one thing that we can do is, if the board is interested in pursuing this and causes of concern, we'll know a little bit more, I think, in a little while, is we can look to do kind of a bare bones plan where, say, maybe we leave this little extension of walkout, we leave some of this walkout, maybe we only do the stairs and we leave some of the sidewalls off. We can do some alternate pricing to the change order to try to see if we can get this in as a base bid and get at least the base, the bones in, and then we'll always come in later and fluff up and add some of the additional things.
The conversation started, and kind of what he was alluding to earlier, guys, is I was thinking originally, it's like, well, I've got this excavator out here, let's go ahead and tear his wall out. Well, when I started exploring what that was going to cost relative to ever developing it, it was like he mentioned, that's what he was talking about when he said pretty much wasting money, because some of the work would be doubled up. It would only be halfway done. Because what you don't realize about that wall and the parking on the high school side is the hill. So there's going to be a lot of earthwork that's going to have to take place. So to what he's talking about in terms of drawings, there's going to be some survey work and some things like that that will have to be properly done to get a real number. And us just throwing darts, we weren't very satisfied with what we were seeing. So that's why I said, let's pump the brakes and see before we go any further with this and see if there is an appetite to do it.
I think we need to do it. We need to price it for what we want, because we don't always have a good track record of catching up on things those down the road.
If we can't afford it, we can't afford it, but we have the drawings to maybe do it when we can afford it. That's how I look at it.
So what you're asking us is to give permission next week.
I think, Ben, you can speak to that. What will you need direction wise from them to move forward?
We would just need permission to prepare the plans and to draw and to put a little bit of effort and time into this to secure an actual price from Branscombe on it. Yeah.
Y'all see Stuart Underwood over here whispered in my ear, if you're gonna do something, do it right.
Well, that's where the solar lights.
Only he cursed.
Solar lights, the solar
I'm at a
lights.
football game.
I'll tell you that. So
Okay, any other questions, comments? All right, we'll move on to 4E. Yes, thank you very much. Pay application number 2, Kings Mountain demolition, Brad.
4E, you said, right? I had notes, but I was going to talk about 4C, but then, so 4E, Kings Mountain. So yes, this is to close it out. Mr. Gooch and Mr. Culp are satisfied with what they've seen out there, so we're good to finally get that closed out paperwork wise.
So this will be a final.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay, any questions? All right, Brad, for F, pay application number 2 and number 3 for Waynesburg Elementary.
Yep, same thing on that. That's the roof project. They sent me all the final paperwork to close it out, and with that, we're basically just releasing the final installment and the retainage that I was holding on. So that will close that project out too.
Any questions? 4G, pay application number 1, bid package 2 for Lincoln County High School renovation.
Bid package 2, which is a sports field, we've not started our payments on it. So that's what you're going to see tonight. What I did this in the past month is went to everybody and said, let's get everything caught up. Some of that's because I knew there's some things we want to look at. So, this one is just, pay app 1 for bid package 2 for $267,502.50. And, those have been certified, and approved by our architecture firm.
Any questions? 4H, pay application number 2, bid package 2 for Lincoln County renovation.
Same deal, that technically would be the December billing. I don't think I got one from them in November, so I'm catching it up for bid package 2. That amount would be $191,592, and it's also been certified by Hot Filter.
Any questions? 4I, pay application number 5, DPOs,
So this is going back to our bid package 1 project that we're closing out here. And you're gonna see I've got 2 on here. So for this line item, pay up 5 for $176,242.84 plus some direct purchase orders that will be paid. But I think you'll have 2 totaling $193,384.89. That's for pay app 5, bid package 1.
any questions? 4J, pay application number 6 for Lincoln County High School renovation.
And this will be the latest one for big package 1. Pay app 6 is for $70,622.97, and that will leave guys for bid package 1 per the contract with approved change orders. The balance to finish plus retainage would be down to $253,932.24. I just wanted to give y'all that while I was looking at this today. So once we pay those 2, that's what would be left. And a quick update on bid package 1. We're trying to get the doors and hardware finished. It's been a struggle material wise, getting things in. Just like on bid package 2, we got the concrete work done for the front porch area, and the lead time for handrail of all things has just been crazy. And for code, I can't open that up. Coming back from winter break, if something happens it's still not in, we're gonna temporarily open it and use the ramp. But like, I know they're not steep, but we have to have a handrail. So some of the doors you can see at the house going down from an exterior standpoint have been changed. They look fabulous, very pleased with them. The problem has been just getting them all here and all the hardware here, and they're doing the best they can. I will say that, but we're getting there. We're getting there, and I'm hoping when we come back from winter break, we'll have everything in. I think from what we heard the other day, that sounds doable, doesn't it, Jason?
We're on track to get a lot of things wrapped up.
So
little things we've been trying to get.
And then of course they're working on punch list stuff, but overall it's looking great. Chad just brought up a great point. They're decorating out there. If y'all get a chance, it looks awesome. I mean, it really does.
Did they fix the paint on the gym floor?
That, Gloria, is scheduled, so all the teams are going to be playing on the road. I've got them scheduled to come in the week of Christmas and the New Year's. They're going to work on that. Then I'm going to have them come back on spring break and do some more touch-up work that I'm not satisfied with.
Okay.
So I'm staying on that. I've talked to them too. While we're looking into some things there, we'll make sure we're holding enough retainage to make sure we get everything satisfied with the gym floor. Yes. Yep.
Any questions?
Been there, done
And
that.
there'll be other punch list stuff we're working through. But overall, I feel satisfied. I know we all get frustrated. It takes forever to get things done, but I think it's going to be great. It's looking good, and we're getting there. That's all I'm saying. Any other questions for me?
Thank you, Brad.
Oh, well, let me give you all this update since we're talking about on bid package 2. The weather has killed us. I'll just be honest with you. But they have been out there, mud, rain, snow. I was just left them out there before I came here. Baseball field, gravel's going in today, which is great. That means turf will be next after that. Softball field, we have totally reworked the drainage system down there. Ben and I have been both monitored, and Jason looks at it too, I'm sure. I can already see a drastic difference when precipitation happens to what we're seeing down there. So I'm kind of glad we've had this because I can already see with my own eyes, this looks like it's going to work, which is great. But every other day it's snowing or raining. So I know everybody's getting antsy, but they are doing the best they can do. Matter of fact, there's been days they've been out there working. I'm like, I can't believe you guys are out here. This is just
Cheryl and I come through one day last week and we couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
it's getting there. I still feel like we're gonna make it in time for the seasons, so it might be right up to the last second, but we'll get there one way or another.
Thank you, Brad.
If you guys have any questions, please reach out, anytime on these things.
Don't worry.
4K advertise for school picture bids, Leanne.
Yeah, it's been 3 years since we got bids on pictures, so I'm just asking for permission to advertise for bids again. I think it's really worked well to split that up between the photographer for high school, middle school, and then a photographer for our elementary school. So I will probably advertise it that way. Well, I won't probably will. I will advertise it that way again because I think it's worked great. So.
Any questions? 4L fidelity bond for 2026.
We're required by KRS 160.560 to have a fidelity bond in place. And we usually just put $1 million on it. That's to cover me, basically, handling your money. They do calculate an amount based on how much funds each district has. Our requirement, it used to be 300,000, now we're required to bond 400,000, but it's affordable. We've always had it at $1 million, so I would recommend that we keep that bond amount at $1 million for next year.
Any questions?
Thank you.
4M updated job descriptions. Thank you, Leanne.
So I try to update job descriptions, a few of them each year, and so I had picked 4 of them this year: instructional assistant 1, lead custodian, and cook baker. These hadn't been updated for years. There was lots of things like chalkboards and things that were outdated that we wanted to get out of here. I put it on the principal's agenda and let them look at the job responsibilities and go through them and make recommendations. And so they've done that. And this is what I have come up with as far as the recommended job descriptions for those 4.
Any questions?
But also on there is the district health coordinator. And as you guys know, I think Mr. Smith has talked to you guys. We've had a difficult time trying to find a district health coordinator. And so we had Healthy Kids Clinic look through the duties to make sure that that whatever duties they do weren't duplicated on this. And this is the job description that we came up with. We also will need to, did you talk to them?
We're gonna have to amend the salary schedule. We've kind of surveyed around some of the surrounding districts, kind of like we've done on the salary schedules for other things. And for part-time, most people are paying like 10,000. A lot of districts have it, some full-time positions. We don't think we need a full-time position.
We haven't been able to secure a person, and due to the requirements of the job, so it has to be an RN, a school social worker, or a school psychologist. We haven't been able to find one that would do it for what was on the salary schedule at 5,000. And so along with this revised job description, amend the salary table to $10,000 so that we can find somebody. We are required by law to name someone, and we have not been able to do that yet.
Any questions? 4N shortened school day week for special needs students. Julie?
I'm requesting approval for 6 students for a shortened school day a week. 4 of them for medically necessary therapy, and 2 of them were placed by the ARC committee.
Any questions? Thank you, Julie. And for Tim?
He left, so did everybody get a copy of those? So, the only thing that changed was I wrote that nobody spoke and there were 19 who signed in, and what the vote was at the last meeting was added to this, and that's the report. And it just needs approval tonight.
I would like to have a copy of the first report where the state did the investigation. That first report where it said that we had 24 too many rooms down at the middle, the audit, I guess is what it's called.
The K-Fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That night, I asked, and I think you were gonna, maybe to
I thought I
Brad,
sent that.
see about getting it.
I can, we'll look back and get that to you.
We need to take an action on this.
You do, I didn't think it was tonight, but he wants these sent tomorrow, so we do need to take an action.
We'll do the-
Yeah, I would recommend doing a motion to amend the agenda to change 4O to an action item instead of a discussion item. So you need two motions, one to change 4O to an action item, and then one to take action on the hearing report.
Okay.
Make a motion to put item 4O, Lincoln Planning Facilities hearing to action item.
I second.
Vote Gloria.
Yes.
Philip,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Do I hear a motion to approve the Lincoln County Planning hearing report?
I'll make a motion.
Tyler, second.
I'll second.
Philip, second. Vote Gloria.
Yes.
Philip,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Any public comment?
No, ma'am.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Jen,
Second.
Gloria, second. Vote Gloria.
Yes.
Philip, Jen. Yes, Jen, second.
I missed your call. You made me-
Tyler, and I vote yes. We did have a hearing.
Quick.